The Dynasty Podcast is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. You were warned. The Dynasty Podcast is brought to you by Berkowitz Trucking. When it comes to rubbish removal and eco-friendly recycling, Berkowitz Trucking makes it simple. Don't be a dick. Berkowitz Trucking, servicing all of Riverdale since 1981.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the assholes on the Dynasty tonight. That's right. It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Dynasty tonight. Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know. It's like some kind of torture to have to watch the show. And now let's get things started. Why don't you get things started? It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, sexuational. This is what we call the Dynasty Podcast.
And now, coming to you live from Riverdale Studios, your host, the one, the only, Eric Costanza!
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Berkowitz Trucking Dynasty Podcast. My birth name is Eric Costanza. However, you slapnuts know me as Commissioner Scooper. And with me is the second best Foursquare player of all time, Bubba Palucha.
Wait, who's the first?
Well, I think we all know that. Second best, though, not too shabby. You should be proud of yourself, Bub.
Yeah,
Be proud.
I'll take it. All right.
Be proud.
Okay, I'm proud.
Hey, Bub, did you read what Newsweek, the magazine, said about our show?
No, I didn't, Eric. What did it say?
Some good stuff. I actually, as you can see, I have it here right in front of me. I'll just go ahead and read the review right here. Quote right from Newsweek. When it comes to fantasy football podcasts east of the Mississippi River, north of the Mason-Dixon line, and south of Canada, the Dynasty Podcast is a hidden gem. Eric and Bub's chemistry always delivers erections. Unquote.
Wow, that's very, very great. I'm glad. I feel good.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this hopeful erection-driven show, we're going to review Week 4. We'll look ahead to Week 5. Then we'll have Coach, actually, Bub, that you called out last week.
Yeah.
Coach Phil Tamulis of the Pig Newtons.
Yeah, it didn't turn out so well for me.
And then we'll have another riveting interactive segment. Bub, later on the show, we are going to have head football coach at Foley High School in Foley, Alabama. His name is Coach Todd Watson, and he is the former coach of my wide receiver, Riverdale Scooper's own Julio Jones.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Do you think he knows Cliff Barth?
Cliff Barth. Doubt it. You
never know.
Cliff Barth was in New Orleans, Louisiana.
It's close.
No, not really.
Well, I mean, it's
quite a ways away, Bob.
Yeah,
I would say it's probably, I'm no geography whiz, but I'm going to say it's from here to, like, Toronto?
No.
I think it is. Look at a map.
I'm going to look it up.
Let's look at a map. Anyway, Coach Todd Watson, I figured I'd get, he was the former, high school coach of Julio Jones, and I'm the current coach of Julio Jones, so we'll get, us together. Obviously, you'll be involved, Bub, and we'll just, we'll ask him some questions about, about Mr. Julio Jones, and we'll do that.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we're an up-and-coming show. We
deliver erections.
We deliver erections, and I'm really hoping one day we're going to get an actual NFL player, but we got to start small, working, some of the coaches, and work our way up, and we'll get there someday. It's like an erection, Bub. You got to work at it.
Now let's take a look into last week's results. Who kicked some ass? Who sucked?
All right, Bub, so before we review last week's games, we actually saw the message board absolutely
explode like diarrhea.
Yeah, just classic Dynasty-like shenanigans and tomfoolery. I think it all started off with Coach Brandon calling out Coach John. Obviously,
By the way, very, very strong call out there, calling out the one of the worst teams in the league. That a boy, Brandon.
Well, he obviously still has a little bit of spite in him from what occurred during Dynasty Bowl last year. He really wanted to avenge that loss, although it doesn't really avenge it unless he were to win a championship, I guess. But John had some good comebacks, and then more coaches got involved. Brandon ended up admitting to essentially sucking penis, which was kind of awkward.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever read of anything Dynasty related.
No one accused him of that. He proactively mentioned it. I don't really get it.
And then the best part was, I think it was Brian and Phil both said, well, we can't just we can't just let this go. Brandon just said he has a dick in his mouth, and we never really went back to that.
Yeah. Well, and then Coach Whiffen got involved as well. He out of nowhere calls out rookie coach Ben Green, and then Ben Green, fired back a shot, and just some some good old fashioned message board shiznick going on, and then we saw our first trade, Bub, as well late in the week last week. I think it occurred on Friday, when Hong Kong Cavs and VIP on Swole agreed upon a trade. Interesting to see another rookie coach, Chris Heaney, involved in the first, in-season trade there. But anyway, Hong Kong ended up getting Tony Gonzalez and an 11th round pick, and VIP got new starting running back for Arizona, Ryan Williams, and an 8th round pick. What do you think about that trade, Bub?
Yeah, I mean,
come on, tell us how you think. Tell us what you really think. We're not being nice here.
Gonzalez is, I think, right now the number one tight end in the league. Kind of rejuvenating his career. Good year so far with him and Matt Ryan. And Ryan Williams is, I guess he's a starter, but kind of like by default, isn't it? It doesn't make him good.
Yeah.
And he did get that 8th round pick out of it. I don't really like that pick. I think Heaney could have rolled with 2 tight ends for a little bit, or at least tried to get a little more or something.
So it sounds like you're gonna say that Coach Whiffen got the better of the deal.
I would, if I had to, absolutely, I would say you got the better end of the deal.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and kind of roll through some of these games. We'll talk about what we think here. And the game of the week last week, really again only due to the I guess the matchup from Dynasty Bowl 8, Brutal Deluxe and Amber Alerts. Wasn't really much of a game. Brutal won again, 118-91. Joe Flacco, Alfred Morris, Owen Daniels, and the 49ers defense just putting up some good points, Bub. And I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Brutal, he's now won 14 of 15. He's now 21-13 all-time in the Dynasty, and he has moved up into first place in all-time winning percentage at 618%. And, Bub, another kind of little fun fact for your ass.
Ooh.
And I know that we've actually both been kind of calling out Brandon the last few weeks, saying that it's bullshit. He's not really has the sustainability. He's not going to make the playoffs. He's going to, start losing soon. But he's now sitting at 4-0. And I dig deep a little bit into the Dynasty archives, and actually since Dynasty Season 5, there have only been 3 teams that have started the season 4-0.
Really?
Yes, myself and former team, the Hunters, back in D5. And, believe it or not, the Guard Dogs in D7.
Didn't he go 8-0 or 9-0?
He actually went 9-0. Don't ask me how, but those were the 3 teams that, since D5, started out at 4-0, and all of which made the playoffs.
Interesting.
So, you look at Brutal now, looking 4-0, and, a lot of pressure now is on him, and I'm at 4-0 as well, so I guess that, Brandon and I have a pretty good shot at making the playoffs, obviously, but I guess look more in the sense of looking at, recent history.
Yeah, you know what? Brandon's going to lose this week.
Wow. Okay. Well,
he's gonna lose this week. I got a hunch.
Well, we will get to next week's matchups in just a moment. But looking on to the other game there, or another game, the Riverdale Scoopers. Myself, I beat Soul Glow in a very high scoring matchup.